What's going on, guys? It's Adam P, and welcome back to more Newcastle United transfer news. Let's forget about that. Let's focus on the game today as we head down to Leeds United to take on what is our final match before the first international break of the season. I can't believe I'm saying this about the international break. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord we have a break, because not only do we have that break, the transfer window closes in the next couple of days, which means during the break, Newcastle has the breather. Newcastle has the chance to calm it down and the chance to be able to get all of that noise, all the noise we're talking about now and all the noise you're talking about now, get that out of the way, focus on this season. The players we have, the players that want to be here, we focus on this season and we kick it on, because so far, despite good performances, being heavily affected by what's going on at this football club, we have dropped points because of what is going on behind the scenes, and that's the reality. But just before we get into the transfer news, of course, make sure I get down there, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the Leeds United vlog today. Join the 44% as well who are already subscribed to this channel so you don't miss out on the upcoming Newcastle United transfer news. And starting off, we will mention the two strikers because both of them are not playing today. Both players are currently sitting inside their football club awaiting a potential move to Newcastle United, and we have a truly bizarre transfer saga where we went from being the undateables to being dated by everyone. Two different Premier League players at two different clubs actually both want to join Newcastle United. Wissa's missing a match, Larsen's missing a match. Both players are not playing for, let's be honest, both relegation battling teams are missing star players today, because both of them are waiting for a potential move. It's truly astonishing. We'll start off with Johan Wissa, of course, a player who has wanted to join Newcastle for months now, has made it clear he wants a number 9 shirt. I should have listened more to him, but he wanted the number 9 shirt, and of course he wants to actually be a part of the African history at Newcastle United. He's really bigged up Demba Ba, Papi Cissé and Hatem Ben Arfa for being an actual catalyst that has persuaded them to pick Newcastle over Tottenham. And I still feel like this Newcastle Tottenham thing is so weird in Wissa's point of view. Already lives in London. Tottenham's a Champions League club as well. Thomas Frank's his former manager. Tottenham, to be fair, have got a good team and they're going to do well this season. So he's actually picked what is going to be a more destructive move for him, because he has to move house, he has to move his family up here. But he wants to be at Newcastle, and I admire that quite a lot. I don't like his actions, and let me make that clear to Liverpool fans now. I don't condone, I don't agree with his actions, but I still want him at Newcastle now. He scored 19 goals last season. Clearly a player who wants that one final big move in his career, and someone that's going to stick with Newcastle long term, and someone who is not playing against Sunderland today. Possibly he could be in the North East this weekend, but not to do with the football club itself, to do with him moving to Newcastle if it does happen. And to give Brentford credit, they are clearly trying to replace Wissa now. They've attempted with Dortmund to sign Beer. £45 million down on the table, rejected. It is believed that Brentford will not come back with more money. So what do they do now? Do they change targets? Do they decide to overpay on bringing Beer in, or do they just stop altogether? Brentford have attempted, hasn't worked so far. They actually seem to be making moves, or seem to be at least trying to make moves to get Johan Wissa out of Brentford. Now, Strand Larsen's not as bad as Johan Wissa. He's cooperating with Wolves and he seems to be a lot fairer towards the football club. This one's bizarre though. He's missing the game against Everton due to a knock. Let's be honest, this knock thing is an absolute pile of rubbish. This is a football player who has told Wolves 2 days ago that he would like to join Newcastle United. He has not kicked up a fuss. He hasn't went on strike. He hasn't refused to train or play with Wolves. He has simply said, I would like to join Newcastle if possible, but also seems to be a player who seems content enough to stay at Wolves. Now, I think he's intentionally out of the squad today, due to the fact, you have to look at the obvious fact, he has taught Wolves he wants to go elsewhere. It doesn't matter how nice or how nasty he is towards the club. Once a football player tells the club that I would like to go elsewhere, his head's not in the match, and Wolves clearly see through that. He'll be staying out of the game, of course, for Wolves to protect their asset. Either will be a case of keeping them fit in case Newcastle actually comes in with mega money, or just keeping them happy and making sure once the window is closed, this guy's head back into shape so they can get back into Wolves' team. He hasn't got to think about potentially joining Newcastle. I mean, why would they play a striker in a match where he's got one eye and a different football club? That's not healthy and beneficial for Wolves. So I think he's just out of the squad to keep him happy, to keep Wolves players happy, and just to try and take away any noise and any destructive behaviour towards the game itself, which you have to say is fair enough. But Wolves fans watching this video, BS. He's not knocked at all. That is too coincidental to be a knock. I fully believe that he's been kept out of the squad for the best interest of everyone at Wolves. And as for any other potential transfers towards the end of the transfer window, we were linked to Ferrecci, Inter Milan midfielder. It was quoted by some of the Italian sources that personal terms had been agreed. It was a deal Newcastle was progressing and looking green lighted to go and get. However, Craig Hope has since came out and said his own piece saying that while it is true, Newcastle United has approached Inter Milan earlier in the week, inquired about the player himself. That was mainly due to the fact of Tonali and Jordan's injuries in case they were severe. Now that we know that both players seem to be fine and both players are ready. I mean, Tonali's potentially ready today and Jordan to be ready after the international break. So when you look at that, potentially walked away from this player. But I would imagine, in our point of view, I still feel like Newcastle needs an all midfielder. If I could have it my way this summer, I would have probably sought Joe Willock and replaced him. Not to discredit Joe Willock because he is a good football player, but I think for where Newcastle United is now, Joe Willock's had a couple of just okay years. I just don't think he's that level for where we are in the Champions League. I just think we can improve and be better than him. Not to discredit him because he's still a good football player. He still can do a job, but I feel like we should be improving on him. I think we're at that case now where you want to look at the players that you got, and if it's possible, sell them, replace them with better players, and that's how Newcastle really develops as a football club and how to attract new players. And speaking of attracting players, Toni Kroos, let's speak about Toni Kroos. I can't believe I mentioned this in the Newcastle United transfer news video, but Kroos has actually been a Newcastle United fan for the past week or so. He said earlier in the week, I want to be a Newcastle United member. I want to go to the games. I want to support Newcastle. I'm really intrigued in the project, and perhaps not a coincidence, we've got a couple of German players in there now, but one of the best ever midfielders. I mean, this guy, bear in mind, when he actually retired, most players don't ever retire at his peak. He did. Toni Kroos actually retired when he was still at his best, which is quite rare to see in a football, and you've got to respect a player who is willing to walk away before the game walks away from him. Toni Kroos is a player that is astonishingly good, and even this noise you're just hearing from a legend of the game, that's real positive noise for Newcastle, and it actually helps attract new football players to the club. If football players are seeing online that you got legends of the game, big in Newcastle, who's got no connections to Newcastle, players out there will hear that, and players out there will be more enticed to join Newcastle and to join the project of what we're trying to do here. Lovely comments from Toni Kroos, but yeah, if you ever see him in the away end anywhere, fair enough, because this seems to be a adopted Mag or adopted Geordie at this rate. It's not a story I was expecting, but certainly a story I'm happy to hear about. And walking out of this video, of course, potentially the final ever match Newcastle United players today, while Alexander Isak is still a Newcastle United player. After today, it seems more likely at the minute that Isak goes before the end of the transfer window. Liverpool's got real chance to sign him, and I say to Liverpool now, nothing negative to say towards their fans or towards their football club. My negativity is solely on the player. I think the player has heavily let himself down. I look back at the situation. Yes, the player's entitled to leave Newcastle United. He's entitled to do so, but he's not entitled to go on strike. He's not entitled to refuse to play or train for his football club. And those fans today, potentially a final chance to let Alexander Isak know when he's still a Newcastle United player, what you think about him. During the 90 minutes at Villa Park, we sat there, supported the team, and we continued to back the team during the game. Once that final whistle went, that was when we made our noise. And I reckon today against Leeds, it'll be that, but tenfold. Going down to what is already quite a boisterous and loud stadium go-to, I reckon Newcastle fans would give Isak everything they've got after the game and have a right to do that. They're the people that spend the hard-earned money, time, and patience going to all these games, support Newcastle United and want to see his football club succeed. Alexander Isak has not done the same in return, and those fans have a right to be upset and have a right to be angry towards the player. Let him know exactly what you think about him, because I reckon he's going to go before the end of the transfer window. I think now we're at that stage where Isak out the door is a real possibility. So for you fans that are there today at Leeds, enjoy it. Support the team during the game. But after the game, if you want to, give that player everything you've got, because he deserves it. He does not deserve your respect, and he does not deserve to have that respect going out in Newcastle because he's lost it. And one day, when all is said and done, he'll look back and he'll regret it. And that's the message I will continue to say for the rest of my days. But But looking forward to the game. If you don't mind me, I'm going to bed now. So I'm actually recording this video on the Friday night. So, of course, it goes into Saturday time. I need to get some rest so I can be all ready to go to the game. But by the time watching this game, of course, I'm going to be travelling down after this vlog. So make sure for those who are going down to the game, enjoy it. Make the most out of it. I can't wait to be at Leeds, by the way. If there's any Leeds fans watching, I'm looking forward to it. I always enjoy going to Allen Road, and I don't want to be positive towards them down the road, but I have to say, Leeds and Sunderland, to be fair, different teams. It's just something different about them in the Premier League. Sheffield United's boring. Burnley, I don't mind, but again, they're boring. These newly promoted teams just always go back down. They don't add any real fight. Sunderland, as much as I don't want to credit them, at least are different. Leeds are my favourite in terms of the crowd and the three teams. I think Leeds have got a real good home end. So again, two different teams that add something to the league. So I actually don't mind it, even though, of course, as a Newcastle fan, I would love nothing more than to see something go back down. Let me know your opinions down below. Let me know your feelings and thoughts towards the Champions League stuff, and of course towards the transfer stuff as well. I can't wait till the window is closed. That international break is going to hit hard for Newcastle. You've got a real chance there, couple of weeks, relax, take it all in, get that noise out of the way. Eddie Howe, the coaching staff, get the noise away. It's all you after that. You can then have control of the situation. The players who want to be here will kick on and do well this season, and we will achieve great things. This transfer window, while we're signing good players, and we should hopefully sign more players, it's been destructive. Get that noise out of the way, get it all and done with. Let's move on and let's absolutely smash it this season. Thank you guys for watching. Take care. Matchday vlog from Leeds will be up later today, so stay tuned and don't miss out on it.